Hello everybody and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, the show where Whitney and I take a look at every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I am Tennille.
And I am Whitney, and we are back in 1981 with our last catch-up film that we're doing until the next time we do catch-up films. You're very excited because it's been half a year since we finished 1981 and then started doing catch-up films.
We're finally gonna move on
to 1982. Now, astute people might have noticed that we do have a number of other movies already on the catch-up list, and we're just going to hold off on those because it has been half a year since we've done an actual year of Animation Pilgrimage.
Yep.
So we're just going to hold off on those, and we'll get to them after 1982.
Yeah.
But for now, we watched 30,000 Leagues in Search of Mother, which is another Sunwoo Entertainment film from South Korea. And I want to say thank you to Michael Ray for finding this movie for us.
Thank you very much.
Sad orphan movie, let's go.
Sad orphan movie in search of family. It's a very specific genre. We've covered it many a time on Animation Pilgrimage. You know the deal. It is how sad can we make the orphan? How terrible can the orphan's life get until they find happiness?
At the very end of the movie.
At the very end of the movie. So, you want to run us through a plot synopsis?
Yeah, let's go through a plot synopsis.
Let's go.
Our main character's name is Juno, and he lives in an orphanage. Who could have seen that coming? He's a troublemaker, showing that he's just like every other orphan kid that you ever experience in one of these movies.
Well, but, okay. Juno is a little bit different because he's kind of the leader of the group, of the orphans. And a lot of times when an orphan is a troublemaker, it's because, like, they're misunderstood or because, like, their caretakers are evil or something like that. You know, the orphan's kind of, like, socially awkward or something like that. But Juno is, like, he's a popular kid. He's a little bit of a troublemaker. The kids go out at night and capture a raccoon and bring it back to the nunnery.
That went well. Anyways, an old man shows up. It turns out to be his grandpa. And his grandpa has been looking for the child of his daughter for years because there was a war and the child got separated. And wouldn't you know it, it's Juno he was looking for. So he's gonna take Juno back to his mother. Hooray!
Who lives in all the towns in this movie are flower names.
Yeah, there's like Tulip Town and Rose Town and Lily Town. And I can't tell you where the hell it is she lives because, spoilers, she moves like 7 times.
These mothers of orphans who keep moving. You can always count on a mother of an orphan to move at the least convenient time.
So anyways, Grandpa goes out to buy tickets
to Tulip Town. I think it's Tulip Town.
Okay. Tickets for the boat to get to the town where Mom lives. And he dies in a car crash.
Of course.
So Juno is stuck back at the orphanage.
Now, I do want to note here that this shouldn't really be that big of a problem. Like, Grandpa dying is you know, a tragedy. But, like, there's phones in this universe.
There's mail. There's letters that can exist.
People know, like, where they were supposed to be heading. Something could be done about the situation to get Juno to where he needs to go.
Yeah, just because this one guy died doesn't mean that he can't get back to his mother through the use of adults, right?
Because then later on in the film, we find out that the mother knows the grandpa died in a car crash.
But didn't find out that her kid exists.
Yeah.
So it's like there's some real bad communication going on here.
Yeah, and it's not like, you know, Juno ran away before the authorities could step in and help or something like that.
Like literally no one does anything.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, well, he's an orphan.
Back to the orphanage. Job done, I guess. Anyways, Juno sets out on his own to get to his mom, and that's what most of this movie is going to be.
Right.
So he finds a drunk man in the port town, and this guy helps him get aboard the ship to Tulip Town or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it turns out it's going to Rose Town instead or something. It's going to the wrong town. But, right. Oh, I should note that the drunk man is like, oh, he reminds me of me as when I was a kid, so I'm going to help him out.
Right.
And then he gets on the boat, and the boat captain's like, oh, he reminds me of me when I was a kid, so I'm going to help him out. Uh-huh. And spoilers, this is going to happen a lot. Yeah. Everyone just immediately loves Juno.
Yeah.
So,
which I mean is fine, because Juno is actually a really likable kid character. Yeah. And I do want to say that all these people that we are going to run into over the course of this film are also really likable characters. Mm-hmm. Like, there's some really fun side characters in this. Generally, like, the biggest problem most of these films have, the, like, orphan goes around looking for his family kind of films, is that either everybody that the orphan meets are either mean, cruel, trying to take advantage of the poor orphan, or they're really boring, or just something like that. But, like, all these characters are likable, and they honestly want to help Juno, and that's nice to see.
Yeah, it's like, this honestly seems like a fairly nice universe that he exists in, so, like, it's not even that bad that he doesn't have his family.
Yeah, because he's got all these other people who are here to support him.
He constantly has a support network of people that care about him. He goes to a new location, and even if he leaves the old people behind, he finds new people instantaneously that are nice to him.
Oh, I remember the other category of people the orphans run into. Characters who are so nice that they just end up dying before they can end up helping.
Okay, yes, that's true.
That's also very common.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, the captain of the ship sends him into the town with a letter to find his brother, who turns out to be a professional boxer.
Yeah.
So that's neat. And so the professional boxer brother immediately befriends Juno and takes him to Tulip Town because he's going to a boxing competition there where he fights a ginormous guy and who's the campion.
He's the campion, yes. He's not the champion. He's the campion.
They forgot to put an H on the back of the jacket.
That's hilarious.
It's funny. So, yeah, we have like a Rocky moment here.
Juno gets to be like the boxing coach.
Yeah, it teaches him how to box better or something. And then he wins and the Superman theme plays. Just straight up the Superman theme.
To it, and in the back of my head I was like, Superman theme, yeah. And then you were like, that's the Superman theme, and I kind of did a double take and I was like, oh, what is...
I don't think they commissioned
John Williams.
Is it John Williams or Richard Williams?
No, Richard Williams is the animator.
Okay, yeah. I don't think they commissioned Mr. Williams to use his Superman theme.
I don't think so.
Whatever. He wins. And then turns out he also gets help from an orphan kid named Tony. Mm-hmm. And they find the house where his mom lives, except she moved a couple months ago.
There's always an orphan kid named Tony.
Tony. So he sets out with Tony, and they get on a train, and they meet a girl named Maria. Was that her name?
I think it's just Marie.
Marie? Okay. They meet a young girl, and she's adorable, and falls in love with Tony, or Juno, immediately. So they get to this other town. I can't keep track of what town they're in now.
There's a lot of towns.
It doesn't matter. They get to this other town, and they're going up to the house where his mom lives, and they pass a car, and wouldn't you know it, his mom's in the car.
Of course.
And they get to the
house. I literally screamed at this part. I was like, don't you American Tail me movie. How dare you?
They literally look at each other.
Yeah.
And she's like,
the mother is literally like, oh, that's about the age my boy Juno would be right now.
So they get to the house.
Moving!
They get to the house, and it turns out she's moving again.
Of course.
And they
These
just
rich
missed
women,
her.
always moving.
So they go back to the train, and he gets separated from Tony for a little bit. Doesn't really matter. He gets onto the train. Oh, actually, he meets back... this is the point where he meets back up with the drunk guy from the beginning, who is just a straight-up criminal. And criminal man turns himself into the police in order to get money from the police so that they can get this boy on a train to the town where his mom is.
I mean, it's really quite sweet. This guy is like running away from the law because there was somebody who got shot or something.
He may or may not have murdered somebody.
He may or may not have murdered a man, but like he finds Juno again, and Juno's like, I need money to go find my mom, and he's like, well, all right. So he goes and he turns himself into the police and is like, I can tell you where my boss is at if you just give me the money to help Juno. And the police even like bring the criminal guy back, and they like are under the facade of like the police. Like,
oh
he's
yeah, this is totally my
police.
boss, and he gave me the money, and it like he's handcuffed to the other guy the whole time, but keeping it from Juno because it's like, that child is too sweet.
That child is too sweet. We cannot let him know the harsh realities of the world.
Yeah. So he gets the money for the train. Like, at this point, there's police officers. Why do the police not just intervene and help?
I know. I'm just like, okay, police. Like, the police man is all like, oh, it's the least I can do, kid. And
Well,
I'm
he's
like,
like,
yeah, it literally is the least you can do.
No,
Why don't you send a police officer with the kid over to wherever this boy's mom lives, and then their police department can make sure the kid gets back home?
Maybe make some phone calls, you dumbass police officers.
Don't give a 5-year-old money for the train. Jesus.
There are phones in this universe, just call.
Do your job.
Anyways, he gets to the other town, and it turns out the mom has moved to a town on the other side of the mountains, but it's all snowy, so they gotta wait until spring. But he's also poor again. But it's okay, because Tony's here, and Marie, or whatever her name is, also in this town. And Marie is sick and dying, or whatever, and she came to this town to recover, or whatever. And so, because she's in love...
on a play.
Yeah, so she puts on a play to raise money so that Juno can get the money he needs to ride the bus once the snow goes, so he can get to the other town where his mom is.
Right.
And so they do the performance of the play, and Marie McHeckin dies in his arms on stage.
It's so melodramatic. I can't, movie. Marie, you can't just let yourself die in front of all those people.
That's really traumatic to watch a child die on screen.
Well, stage.
Or on stage. I hope they don't tell any of those people that she actually died, because she dies in the play, but also died in real life at the same time.
Right. Oh, I can't.
It's so dumb.
I can't, but it's so on point for these orphan movies. Like, the death of innocence. A child must die. Blood must be spilt.
So Juno has the money now.
Yes.
And he's too impatient to wait until the snow melts.
Yes.
So a random truck driver...
Can you blame him? His mom might move before
he
snow
gets
melts.
There. So a random truck driver is also going to risk going through the mountains. So he gives him a ride, and wouldn't you know it, there's an avalanche.
I literally made a joke. As soon as we saw the truck driver guy, I was like, they're gonna crash, get stuck in the mountains, and then Juno's gonna have to eat the truck driver.
Well,
and all that happened except the last thing, so, you know,
he didn't eat the truck
cannibalism.
driver, but the truck driver did die.
Yep.
And then he's wandering through the snow by himself, and then he gets caught in some sort of animal trap.
Oh my god, I forgot about the animal trap. The misery compounds. He, like, digs his way out of the avalanche and just immediately animal trap.
And then an old man finds him and has taken him to the other town where he wants to be and nursed him back to health. And then he's like, oh yeah, I know that lady. She lives like right around the corner. And so Juno runs. And by this point, the mom is there and her doctor's like, we need to do surgery. And she's like, will this save me? And he's like, not really.
What you really need is your son.
You need your son. And she's like, well, I guess I'll make hecking die. And then Juno walks in.
I was afraid she was going to get like a lobotomy or something with the way they were talking.
Who knows?
I think she's just got the affliction of being movie mom sick.
Yeah. And then Juno walks in and they're like, Juno's here. And she's like, I don't believe you. And they're like, no, he's literally right here. And then she's like, oh my God, my son. All the happiness in the world.
Okay, but hold on. We have to talk about like this reunion here for a second. Because the two of them collide. And they don't just collide, they purposefully run into
a hanging flower basket of roses.
A hanging flower basket of roses. So as they twirl and spin around and embrace, there's roses flying everywhere.
And they all get to live happily ever after. Don't mind the 3 people that died to get this kid here.
3 people?
Yeah.
The truck driver, the girl, who else died?
And Grandpa.
Oh yeah, Grandpa! Sorry, Grandpa was so early on. I forgot. Oh, man.
The end.
The end.
So I gotta say, Sunwoo keeps improving. Their animation, their art style keeps getting better. The general plot and pacing and characterization is also much better. Like, this is, like, they just keep getting better and better at making movies.
As you can probably tell, a lot happens in this film. So probably my biggest critique for this movie is that it's a little too fast-paced sometimes. Like,
it's supposed to be a sad movie, but things keep happening.
Right, like it doesn't give you enough time to process what happened, and I think the movie kind of wants to do that because it wants to keep things fairly light, but then it makes these really dramatic scenes like Marie dying in Juno's arms come off as kind of just hokey, and I mean it would be hokey anyway.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of like, well, that was a sad thing that just happened. Anyway, moving on.
Yay!
Yeah. Like, overall, this is definitely an improvement, and I think that this is probably one of the best orphan goes through many miseries to find his family kind of stories that we've watched.
Yeah, but
I don't like these kind of stories.
I'm not a fan of these movies, yeah.
But I think this is the best one we've watched.
I can't argue with you to say no. Like, I think you're right.
Uh-huh.
We're probably going to have to wait a bit until we get one that's even better, a.k.a. the Don Bluth American Tail movie.
American Tail. It's been a while since I've seen that one, so I'm excited.
I watched it a lot as a kid.
Yeah, really?
Uh-huh.
It's one I have a different feeling about every single time I watch it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows how I'll feel about it when we watch it again.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about now.
No. So, obviously, this was made by Sunwoo Entertainment. So, the title, 30,000 Leagues in Search of Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an awkward title.
Yes.
But did you know that in 1976, there was an anime made in Japan called 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother?
Are you serious?
Made by Isao Takahata.
That sounds really familiar. What's he do?
Chie the Brat, works at Ghibli, Grave of the Fireflies.
Okay, yeah. Of course. He made Grave of the Fireflies. Orphan movie, moves on to do Grave of the Fireflies. Yeah, that reads.
It reads. Mm-hmm. It really checks out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was part of the World Masterpiece Theater Collection, so, you know, it's definitely a fairly well-known anime. I think even in somewhat recent like lists of 100 top animes of all time done by different magazines and stuff, it was listed as like, you know, in one of the like 81st in 100 animes of all time or something like that. So like,
it makes me wonder how much of this movie is directly ripping that off.
Okay, so I read the plot of the show. And it seems like other than the title, there's not anything in common. There's a monkey in the anime. The orphan has like a brother, and like there's not a whole lot of similarities.
Okay. Well, that's at least good to hear.
Yeah, but like 30,000 Leagues in Search of Mother versus 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother is just... Yeah, it was too much of a coincidence for me not to bring it up.
Fair. Yeah, I think that's
Especially
a reasonable
with
thing to bring up.
South Korea's reputation for just taking certain aspects of things and going, this is mine now.
Superman theme? Yeah, we can use that.
We can use that. People will love that. I love that. Why not use it? Good for you. I love it. And yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
So
I would say that
if you want a sad orphan movie, watch it.
Right. And out of the Sunwoo films so far, I think this is the best one.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're interested in checking out some Sunwoo Entertainment films, this would be the one I recommend.
Absolutely. Either that or Time Machine 001.
Yeah.
Either way, this means that you can join us back here next time as we finally move on to a new year. We're moving on to 1982. And we are going to start the year off with Gouch the cellist from Japan.
Oh, I'm so excited. 1982. Here we come.